Sexual reproduction in plants, part 1. In this video, you are going to learn more about microsporogenesis, what is a microsporangium and how pollen grains are formed. Before we begin, let us know something about a flower. Flower is a modified shoot that aids in sexual reproduction in plants. A typical bisexual flower has four whorls, namely calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Calyx and corolla are called the non-essential whorls as they do not take part in reproduction, while androecium and gynoecium are considered to be essential whorls as they take part in the reproduction. Androecium is the male part of the flower represented by the stamens. Each stamen is made up of a slender filament which supports the anther. Anther produces the pollen grain. Gynoecium is a female part of the flower represented by pistil. Pistil consists of a basal swollen portion called the ovary from which slender style arises. At the tip of the style is the stigma. What are the pre-fertilization events that take place? So, in the pre-fertilization events, before the actual flowering starts, several hormones and structural changes occur in the flower that leads to the differentiation and further development of floral primordium. Inflorescences are formed which bear the floral buds and then the flowers. Now, the two parts of a typical stamen are filament and an anther. A typical angiosperm anther is bilobed with each lobe having two theca, that is, they are dithecous. A longitudinal groove separates the two theca. Anther is a tetragonal structure consisting of four microsporangia located at the corners, two in each lobe. The development of microsporangia leads to the formation of pollen sacs. They extend longitudinally all through the length of an anther and are packed with the pollen grain. Look at the structure of the microsporangium. A typical microsporangium will appear nearly circular in the outline in its transverse section. It is made up of four layers, namely epidermis, endothecium, middle layers, and tapetum. Epidermis, endothecium, and middle layers are protective in function and help in dehiscence of anther. The innermost layer is tapetum, which nourishes the developing pollen grain. Cells of the tapetum possess dense cytoplasm and generally have more than one nucleus. Tapetal cells can also become binucleate or multinucleate by undergoing endomitosis. In endomitosis, nucleus divides within the nuclear membrane, but cytokinesis does not occur. When the anther is young, a group of compactly arranged homogeneous cells called the sporogenous tissue occupies the center of each microsporangium. Now what happens? See what happens, how the pollen is formed. Cells of the sporogenous tissue undergo meiotic divisions to form microspore tetrads. The process of formation of microspores from a pollen mother cell through meiosis is called microsporogenesis. Microspores are arranged as clusters of four cells, the microspore tetrad. As the anthers mature and dehydrate, the microspores separate from one another and develop into pollen grains. There are several thousands of microspores or pollen grains that get released on dehiscence of anther. Now, pollen grain represents the male gametophyte. Generally, pollen grains are spherical in shape, measuring 20 to 25 microns in diameter. It has a prominent two-layered wall, the outer exine made up of sporopollenin and inner entine made up of cellulose pectin. Sporopollenin is the most resistant organic material known. It can withstand high temperature, strong acids and alkalis. No enzyme that can degrade sporopollenin is known even to this day. In the pollen grains, there are certain prominent apertures and these are called as the germ pores, where sporopollenin is absent. Pollen grains are well preserved as fossils because of sporopollenin. The cytoplasm of the pollen grain is surrounded by plasma membrane. When the pollen grain is mature, it contains two cells, the vegetative cell and the generative cell. Vegetative cell is bigger, has abundant food reserves and largely irregularly shaped. The generative cell is small and floats in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell. It is shaped like a spindle and has a nucleus. In 60% of plants, pollen grains are shed in two-celled stage, while in 40% it is shed at three-celled stage. In a three-celled stage, the generative cell divides mitotically to give rise to two male gametes. When once shed, pollen grains have to land on the stigma before they lose their viability. The viability period is highly variable and to some extent depends upon the prevailing temperatures and humidity. In cereals like rice and wheat, pollen grains lose viability in 30 minutes after their release. In some members of the families belonging to Rosaceae, Leguminosae and Solanaceae, they remain viable for few months. So this is the structure of how a pollen is formed. Look at the uses of pollen grains. They are rich in nutrients and hence are used as food supplements in the form of tablets and syrups. Pollen consumption increases the performances of athletes and racehorses. Now, apart from the uses, it also has some harmful effect like pollen grains of many species cause severe allergies and bronchial problems in some people, resulting in asthma, bronchitis. Example would be a typical pollen grains of Parthenium, to which many people are found allergic. Even their skin will become black in color and it looks more like a burnt skin due to the pollen allergy of Parthenium.